You have to make these, okay? Can you do that for me? Can you make these cookies? Thanks. I love this time of year, and one of my favorite things about it is honestly that I get to make these cookies again. These are molasses spice cookies from my favorite cookbook, the Cook's Illustrated Baking Book. And to get started, you will need all-purpose flour, baking soda, molasses, unsalted butter, granulated sugar, dark brown sugar, an egg, vanilla extract, salt, and then a bunch of spices. We have pepper, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, and ginger. And we have a little bit of work to do before we get started because I have whole cloves here, but the recipe's calling for ground cloves. I didn't want to go out and buy more because it's like, use what you got, you know, let's not be wasteful. The problem is that my spice grinder is in storage, so we need to come up with a clever way to ground these. Oh, and my mortar and pestle also in storage. So, here's what I'm thinking. Put these into a bag, get a meat tenderizer and bang the crap out of it. I mean, you know, there's some like larger bits, but there's some smaller bits. Definitely puncture the bag as well. Now that we have our ingredients in order, the first step will be, of course, to preheat the oven and prep 2 baking sheets with parchment. This is 11 1/4 ounces of all-purpose flour, and to this I'm going to add 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. What the heck? Ground cloves? Oh, what just happened? I like looked at these last night and was like, oh, I don't have ground cloves. I guess I'll have to make some myself. Well, obviously we're gonna use this, it's way better.
Use what you got, you know, let's not be wasteful.
1/2 teaspoon ground cloves. Make it yourself or find out that you have it. Oh, shoes and socks. Does that mean I don't have ginger? Oh no. I'm gonna go look for ginger, or I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy ginger, because we need ginger. If when you're making it, you go along and you figure out that you don't actually have the spices that you need, go get the spices, because that is what makes this cookie so amazing, is all of these different warm spices, and ginger is incredibly important. Let me go see if I have ginger. Stay right there.
No.
So no, I didn't have it. I had to go to the store, and this is a small size that my local store had. 1 1/2 teaspoons of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon ground allspice, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. You know, this is a hard one for me to measure. I really don't. So we're just gonna eyeball it. Adding the salt, and then all this can be whisked together. Who knew this step was gonna be so hard? 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature going into the stand mixer, which I have fitted with the paddle attachment. And I'm going to add the dark brown sugar and the granulated sugar. I'm going to mix this on medium-high for 3 minutes, looking for all of the sugars to be incorporated with the butter. It's gonna be light and fluffy, lighten in color, those kind of things. Beautiful. All right, one more scrape down the sides, and then we will add the egg and the vanilla. I'm gonna put this back to medium-low and add the molasses while it's running. I really like molasses, but sometimes it makes me think of the molasses flood disaster. Do you guys know about this? I live in Boston, and it happened like in the Boston North End in the 1900s, where there was this like huge tanker of molasses and it leaked, but leaked isn't the right word because I think it was like a flood of molasses that went through the streets and killed like 20 people. It's pretty dark. I don't know why we're talking about it. Now we have our buttery, molassesy mixture, and all of the dry ingredients are going in. Okay, and that's it. Barely incorporated everything. There's still some bits of flour around the top that I'm going to mix with a spatula. You know, sometimes I love a big cookie, but the thing I love about these cookies is that they're teeny. So just about that. Rolling it and then coating it in the sugar, very similar to when we made the chewy sugar cookies. Obviously we have more to roll out, but we're just gonna bake 1 cookie sheet at a time. So this is gonna go in on the top rack for 11 minutes, and I'm gonna rotate it halfway through. Okay, the timer's about to go off. We are looking for the edges to be set. There will be some crackage. It may look underdone. Oh, they're so beautiful. Look how beautiful they are. You have amazing crackage. They smell amazing. Like, it smells like fall. When these first come out of the oven, they're kind of puffed up, and then once they cool on the baking sheet and then on the wire rack, they settle down into these honestly perfect cookies. The regular recipe is technically complete, but we're gonna do this bonus step, which is adding on a rum glaze. For this, I have some powdered sugar, some spiced rum. I also have a piece of parchment ready to go and a piping bag fitted with the smallest tip that I could find, honestly. 1 cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to dissolve this powdered sugar in 2.5 tablespoons of this spiced rum. So I've just arranged the cookies that I want to glaze on this sheet. If you want to do all of them, go for it. A really easy way is just keeping them on a cooling rack within the baking sheet that still has the parchment down, because then it doesn't create a mess. So I'll just let that sit for a minute, and then we can move on to the grating and the tasting. I don't want to be hyperbolic. I'm gonna try and remain measured, but I think that this may be the perfect cookie. Yeah. The outside has just the right amount of like crunch. The inside is tender, melts in your mouth. Let us now taste test one with the rum icing. It's so good. A little bit sweeter, obviously, because there's the powdered sugar on top. You get the subtle hint of the rum, but not overpowering. Each time I make a new recipe from my favorite cookbook, the Cook's Illustrated Baking Book, I give it a grade using the OWL grading system from Harry Potter. The grades range from O for outstanding, which is the top grade, to T for troll, which is the bottom grade. What are we even doing? Like, why are we even talking about this? The grade is O. The grade is O for outstanding. It is the top of the top. Just make them. Just trust me, just do it.